I just got into a side project. I'm writing a book right now, and it's called The Child's Mind. Children are so much higher in like the spiritual realm than adults, and they have so much more good energy inside of them. And this is like something like I've been kind of doing for like a couple years now, in secret, but kind of just want to surface it up a little bit. And yeah, this book is basically about how kids like their creative imagination, their just ability to think outside the box, the fact that they're so innocent and so like inherently holy that they don't have their own self-interest, like themselves as an identity doesn't matter, but everything matters but the good of other people, and how truth can prevail as a whole. That they don't care. Most adults have so many infections inside their mind, kind of like, I don't care about the truth, but if I feel good, then truth changes, or even just like, no, everything has to be narrow. My life is narrow, so ideas have to be narrow too. Or they don't like live adventurous lives as kids, and many adults are unhappy because they're not living like kids. Kids are happy because they're kids. There's many miserable children out there, but there's many happy adults. It's not like kids are inherently happier than adults, but it's the fact that they live a different life than adults that abides with human nature. They live adventurous lives filled with freedom. Well, not really freedom, but you know what I mean. They have free thought. They can think whatever they want. They can use their imagination to come up with new ideas, and genuinely wonder, like, were cliffs made from TNT being blown up 100 years ago, or did they not? Like, they wonder everything, and this is what makes them so happy and creative. Most kids are geniuses. They have the learning capacity of geniuses because of this, because they can think whatever they want. If an adult thinks something, a grown-ass man, he's 20 years old, he goes to a party and he says, are cliffs made out of TNT, or is that just like how it just is? Like, dude, everyone will laugh at him. Or like sometimes like genuinely wonder, like, dude, is bark mulch real dirt that came from another continent, like, or something like that? Or I'll say something goofy. It's like, are mermaids real? It's like some goofy stuff like that. Observation. If you're 20 years old and you say that at a party, you're just gonna be laughed at. But like, if you're a kid, that's normal. But dude, it's like just wondering and questioning everything is just something like the child's mind does, and it's not even kids only who do it, but it's just creative people in general. And I think kids are like directly from heaven. They came from heaven directly. Like, they haven't been corrupted by the world yet. They're still heavenly beings, not corrupted by earth. But most adults, they call themselves wise. They call themselves unfoolish. But they're the biggest fools of them all, because they're the ones who have chains of the world, and they take pride on their own chains, their own narrow-mindedness and their own foolishness, and scorn the kids, the ones who actually have imagination, the ones who actually have righteousness. They scorn them. And the fact that kids are forced to obedience by fools. Well, kids obviously need direction. They obviously do, but they're being directed by fools. There's no real direction. If kids are being directed by fools, it would rather be better that they have no direction and find out the hard way themselves and be directed by a fool. And most adults now are fools. We designed a world where this is a fool factory. You go to school at 4 years old and you got out of school at 17 or 18. And after school, we're historically illiterate, politically illiterate, economically illiterate. We have zero work experience, or like zero real skills at a job. Believe whatever the public school system tells us, whatever political narratives they're trying to push. We're basically penile earthworms. We start out as bright kids with so much imagination, wanting to learn so much, having an entire world to explore, to dull, cracked lights with zero light inside of them. Forced to learning is just control. Forced learning is brainwashing. And kids have gone through hell more than anyone in society, and nobody cares. Nobody cares about kids suffering. And then nobody cares about what kids go through every day, because kids suffer so much that they just get used to it. Whenever kids suffer, in the everyday, whenever kids suffer, they're so drowned out, their voices are just so drowned out, that they're ignored so much that they just forget about it and think it's normal. But it's not. And nobody speaks up for kids. Nobody cares about kids. The people who pretend like they care about kids don't care about kids. They care about furthering their own interests and their own paychecks. It's corrupt. And the child's mind must be understood, because the child's mind is the solution to basically all of our problems, and the child's mind and the mind of Christ are one-to-one correlated. Christ thought like many kids. He didn't bow down to authority if they were lying. If the authorities were lying, he trusted in God and spoke out against the lies, even if it would get him in trouble. And kids are punished to do that. kids, when they speak their minds, are punished for doing so, for questioning, for observing the wrong things. How do you make a wrong observation? I mean, that's insane. But yeah, kids are punished for questioning. Kids have the same experiences on an everyday that Jesus did. And the authorities are corrupt, and the authorities are programmed to be corrupt. He's designed a world full of fools and full of misery as well. That's what my book is about. And it's about communism as well. Communism has a huge correlation to it. Bye. What's up, guys? I'm in a parking lot right now. Dude, I literally biked like so many kilometers to get ice treat. I got the best juice thingy ever. It's not actually the best, but I just complimented the employee like crazy. It's actually I was just gassing her up. And bro, I used to think like I was pretty impressed earlier today. I kind of slept in. No, I had to do some work. I thought my life was shit, but life's not bad. You could always have it worse. Like, bro, hell is a bottomless pit, man. But that also means the skies of heaven don't end. It's like, dude, hell might be a bottomless pit, but the skies of heaven never end. The sky is the limit for heaven. Like, there is no limit to how far you can advance, and there's no limit to the length of which you can rise. Because, dude, if you think you're in a cooked situation, like, literally just do something fun, and then you realize it can always be worse. Because honestly, I'm in High Street. You know, life's not that bad. I've just been walking around. Maybe I'll go to Chilliwack. Life's good. Peace. Hello, everybody. Today we have biked. I don't even know how many kilometers. Like 54 kilometers to John Calvin School. Woo! Yeah! I don't know how to make a cool sound to express the fact that I did it. But I did it! It was a pretty tough ride. You know, it's only one time I biked 56 kilometers. No, I think this one was longer. I think this one was 60 because I took a lot of wrong turns. Well, as did the other one. So I don't actually know the farthest I've ever biked. But I'm probably going to go to Cultus Lake now. From there, I bike back. But, you know, I'm really far away from home. And I am the only one responsible for me going back. Like, I also gotta go to work tomorrow. Hey, my work is pretty chill though. My work is super relaxed. Like, dude, if I go to work like 2 times a week, my boss is fine with that. But it feels motivating. I feel exhilarated after doing this because I did what not much other people can do. Not everyone can do this, by the way. 14-year-old me could have done this. He very much could have. Maybe it would have been harder, but it would have been a little bit more exhausted. But he could have done it. He could have done it. But he didn't. And maybe his life situation didn't allow him to bike all the way to Chilliwack. But, you know, I slept over. I was so far out that I was in Abbotsford by the time it was like 5 o'clock. And if I biked back from Abbotsford, I would have been home. No, not even 5 o'clock. I think it was like 6 o'clock. And I was in Abbotsford. And I was like, it's 6 hours. It's like two hours. I would have been home by like 8:30 if I went back from Abbotsford. But I negotiated with my parents. And now I slept over at my buddy's house. And, dude, I had a blast over there. It was so fun. Their family was so nice. I was kind of just overwhelmed because, like, you know, I just randomly bunk at somebody's house and they just give me food. Like, dude, how can this be? How can this be? I just don't know how it is. Like, I know I'll forget about this Because, you know, my memory's bad. My memory is bad. But it's just mind-blowing how this can happen. Like, look at this field. Look how beautiful it is. Like, it's still in the morning. I kind of, like, woke up, like, I think I literally woke up an hour ago, and I was so cooked. Like, I was like, there's no way. Buddy had to go to work. And I was like, I'll just stay 10 minutes. I watched Minecraft with his little brother. We watched Floatives. It was pretty fun. I introduced him to the Unstable S&P. Dude, that guy, I'm worried, bro. I'm worried. I don't want him to watch Unstable all day, bro. Dude, I introduced his brother to the Unstable S&P. Like, what am I doing, bro? I would have never told my younger self what Unstable S&P was. Because I would have been hooked. I would have been hooked. Well, I don't know why I told him. I should never have. Because I would not want my younger self knowing what Unstable S&P was. Dude, my younger self... Yeah, I'm sorry. I denied my own morals by telling him. Yeah, bro. Yeah. But yeah, life is pretty good. Pretty good, you know. After mastering, I will become a combat master when it comes to life. I, by myself, will achieve great things by myself. And right now in life, it is the best for me to do everything alone, because the truth is that I'm only gonna be alone for, 3 years, 4 years of my life? I will not be alone for very long. I gotta cherish these moments and, you know, do things not because of external factors, but because of internal ones. Not that I'm a narcissist, but because the strength is in me. If I put my strength on other people, what happens if I do something because of a crush? What happens when that leaves? Then my motivation is gone. If you can exact motivation from thin air, you're unbeatable. You're the dragon warrior. You can amount infinite energy from a chia seed. That's what you can do. God is the motivation from thin air. If you could just call on God in Jesus Christ, you can get infinite, not even motivation, but infinite will to do anything from thin air. Just like Tai Long. Like, I don't know how to explain it. But if you need an external material factor, everything will be gone. Everything will be taken away from you. At some point, you might not know where the point is, but the point is sometime. It will happen where everything is taken away. And what are you going to have left? It's just going to be you, God, and Satan. That's who it is at the end of the day. That's who it is. Because that's who you truly are. You are yourself when you are suffering. You are yourself in the last 5 minutes of the freaking ice bath. You go in an ice bath and you go in there for 30 minutes and 5 minutes in you're cooked. And you're calling on God when you're in a cooked situation. That's who you were the entire time. And everything else was a facade. Everything else. You think you're real. You think what you say is real. You think how you behave is real. No. This was all an illusion. Everything you once thought about yourself could be fake. You can be anything. But never take the blue pill. Because the blue pill, you can believe whatever you want. But it's not the truth. That is not the truth. But the red pill, you know the truth and only the truth. Jesus will show you the truth. But you're the one who has to walk through the door. He can't force you to walk through the door, because there's some who know the truth and still betray God. Because they're controlled by external factors. They're controlled by the alcohol. They're just like Cypher from that movie. They are still controlled by the alcohol. They're still controlled by the woman. They're still controlled by the social status and the money. These things, these bad personality traits control us. And 90% of the things I talk about coming from myself. When I look at other people in my life, I think of good things. I try to think positively. I don't think negatively of other people. All of this stuff I come up with, I get it from me. Because I know I myself am dark. I know I am dark. I know I am not necessarily a good person. I know that if I somehow become evil, I know exactly who that version of myself would be. And I will never become it. I'll never become the dark version of myself. Because I know how terrifying it is. I've seen the horrors. And you should see the same thing. Because I don't want to go to evil. Because there are costs now. There is cost. And I don't want to know anybody. I don't want to have a girlfriend. I don't want to have friends before I can regulate this version of myself. Before I can regulate, I gotta examine myself. There is some things that are unchecked. I gotta be lonely for a little bit. Maybe not very long. Maybe it's my fault that I'm lonely. But it is certainly by God's design. Because He wants to teach me something. And I know everything about evil because I've seen it all in myself. I've seen so much evil inside of me, and I've chosen to deny it. The reason I know the devil so well is because of myself, because of him communicating to me, him bribing me what I could be if I just gave in to him. But I denied it, because there's nothing in this world that'll exist forever. Only God, and whatever God allows will ever exist for eternity, and everything else will be destroyed, because it is bad. Justice will come, and there's so much injustice in this world, whether it's from governments, corporations, just Satanism in general provides so much injustice. What they do to children is horrible. But as followers of Christ, we must fight. We must fight even when the followers of Christ around us might not fight. It might not be normal to fight, but making this video is fighting. Some might think I went psycho or schizo, but I do not care. It's weird how that works. But have a good day.